All right. So our case study, we the context is that you were leader of a medical team to a country that is considered closed to the gospel. So I put the spin on that just said maybe it's a Sharia law Muslim kind of country, to try to give some context. But because the country is hostile to Christians, you've been advised by your local ministry partner that the team must keep a low profile and must strictly adhere to safety protocols. To do otherwise could jeopardize not only the team but also the local ministry. Once on the field, things don't seem as threatening as some on the team expected. One team member feels strongly that the danger has been greatly exaggerated and that it is foolish to be so extremely cautious. This team member is able to influence two others, and one afternoon the three of them take off on their own to visit a nearby shopping area. So yes, it's how to deal with that. So I'll go ahead and just go through what our group had. So otters are getting picked on a fair amount today. It seemed like an otter that led the pack there. Might have been other otters with them, might have been golden retrievers, not sure, who got pulled into the concept. And so as a leader, it's figuring out what's the right kind of response to probably most specifically the lead otter, and so for the servant leadership principles, one of them, one of the first ones I think would be needing to have the humility to say, okay, let me make sure my reaction here is not about me. It's not about worrying about what I look like to our local ministry partner or what the success, how I look, how this might make me look. It's about the team. It's about the mission. And so the key priorities would be how to protect the group, and the mission, I guess being redundant there. Doing a good risk assessment of what's really going on and what are really what need to be the guardrails. Making sure that whatever happens, it's something that also keeps the team with a sense of together and and then another comment made was that kind of a learning for this leader would be, boy, I'm going to be a lot clearer on this whole thing in the advanced training, to make sure that some of the why of this is clear. For the principles of conflict resolution, prayer would be important to start, since again, it's not about us as the leader. It's about the Lord and what is happening there. From there, our thought was that we didn't get super specific, but might have been actually to mainly just talk to that lead otter to start with, thanks to you, I read the otter thing really quickly, and so we try to get to the real point of it very quickly, so that they understood quickly why it was an issue. Basically the jeopardizing the local ministry, what the local ministry partner's doing, but and there's, I guess, a risk that we'll never get invited back as a group also. So jeopardizing the mission in various ways, and then letting the otter talk a bit, but basically the concept of seeking to gently restore and relate to that person, but make clear to them the context and the risks that they were feeling were greatly exaggerated, that they aren't. And And then one thing we didn't talk about, but I think could be true, is if there's still a problem, step 2 might be to pull the local ministry partner in, which might be its own conversation in advance first as a separate topic. But yeah, that was what we had.
Yeah, good job. I think at that point it would be important to bring the local ministry partner in. Okay. Before we comment on that anymore, let's let these guys, they had the same case study, and let's see what they came up with. It's Marty. Marty? I can't reach you that far. You're going to have to get up.
I never had a microphone, but anyway. They made a mistake because I'm actually a golden retriever, so they nominated the wrong leader for this task on our team. And so I actually didn't know that until the end, so I took no notes, and I had no idea, and I wasn't prepared. So thank you, Jim, for saving me, because I was really pretty nervous about it. So anyway, I think from the standpoint that I'd be angry. I think my first response is I'd be really mad, because this is a very serious potential violation. I mean, we're talking about jeopardizing their ministry, for gosh sakes, let alone being able to be invited back, or, having, problems within the team, not following the structure and so forth. So my first response as a leader would be, I'd be really mad. So I'd have to really temper that with a lot of prayer, I think. We also considered that it might be a lion that might be spearheading this deal. You got doctors. We didn't really talk about the doctor thing, but, thinking that, gosh, I've done this kind of thing before. I think it's overplayed. We're just gonna charge ahead, and some people get kind of a vacation mentality too. I don't know if you guys have experienced that, but we've had different kind of scenarios, but ones in which people are on this trip. They're somewhat sponsoring themselves. Whatever the mentality is, that kind of a me mentality can take over instead of we as a group mentality. Losing sight of the fact that we're here to serve the Lord and here to honor the group, the people, the society that we're serving. Obviously the approach to a lion is different than an approach to an otter, because we thought the likelihood is it would be an otter. Obviously we have to be much more direct with a lion, short, sweet, to the point, but always in a way that does not, you have to still be respectful and honorable to the person that you're addressing, but ultimately for the greater good. The theme has to be that you're doing this as a group to honor our Lord Jesus Christ. And to the otters, we need to make it very quick that we need to recognize that things are done differently in this society. It may be this way at home, but this way it's here, and the result of our actions could have this consequence. And so therefore, basically drawing the line, you have to be very firm about not doing this again, or you're staying in your room. No dinner.
Okay, no recess for you. Okay, thank you very much. Now, have you noticed a pattern in the misbehavior? I hadn't really thought about it till I was listening to everybody. It's always an otter. What's up with that? In this instance, this offense rises to a higher level by far than some of the other things that we've heard about. Not only do you jeopardize the mission, you put in physical danger your life, the life of your teammate, potentially the lives of your ministry partners. It's absolutely unacceptable. And you as team leader need to make that really clear. This is time to dig into your inner lion and let them know this does not fly. Right? And this is not something you just deal with these two team members on either. This is a whole team issue. Some things that we've talked about are things that can be resolved between two people, and you don't need to bring the rest of the team and should not bring the rest of the team into it. Some of them require the whole team. This one right here, your case study, if I remember right, it said you got a heads up that the resentment was brewing. That would have been an instance when you should have addressed that with the whole team, probably in your nightly debriefs. And there are ways that you approach that. Anybody feeling just kind of explore how people are feeling. And if nobody brings it up, you bring it up. Okay? Yeah.
We kind of also felt like a lot of this should have been dealt with more seriously before you left for the field, that the team should have really understood that nobody veers off track. It's still going to happen, but maybe we should have spent some more time in our training talking about this.
That's right. You want to be crystal clear about that in your training. And, you know, they say that you have to repeat something at least 7 times before people get it. That would be worth repeating. But I will tell you that you can do your level best. You will think everybody is absolutely on the same page, and you'll still have somebody that'll go do something like that. That doesn't mean you don't do your best, you do. But the thing you have to do here is nip it in the bud right away. Yeah. Hopefully, in a best case scenario, when you've had your conversation with the team members who actually committed the offense, they will be willing, hopefully their hearts would be in such a place that they would be willing to also address it with the team and say, you know, we were really wrong, and we ask your forgiveness.
I just have a feeling a little defensive as an otter. But seriously, what would you do if you have a team out there and you get an out-of-control lion leader that is pushing everybody on the team away, and when that happens, they become more dictatorial? What do you do as a team?
Do you have an answer for that?
No, I thought it would be a good scenario next time we do this.
That's true. That's true. And if you have ideas for good scenarios, I'm telling you, it's a brain drain. So if you have some, give them to me. But he's right. And actually that can happen. And when that happens, the team as a whole needs to address it with the lion leader as a group. You know, normally it's not a good thing for the team to go over here and have, but you do need to, if this is apparent and everybody's feeling this way, then maybe hopefully there should be an apprentice leader that you could talk to, that could sort of, but you would need to decide to bring it up at your nightly debrief and be very honest about it. Not attacking the lion, just saying, look, here's how we're feeling and here's how you're coming across. You may not realize that your evil twin is on your shoulder and but you're pushing us away, and you're making it hard for us to work, and our unity is being threatened, and you have to address it. You can't just ignore it and withdraw or whatever.
Marty alluded to this a little bit, but with something this serious, it seems like you're going to have to lay out consequences. If this happens again, you guys are going home, or you're going to be in your room, or something along.
Yeah, you would have to. Well, maybe you wouldn't. It kind of depends on the attitude of the person. If there's no repentance, no recognition that they did anything wrong, if they blow it off, and it was broad daylight, it was perfectly safe, nobody was paying any attention to us. If that's the kind of attitude, then yeah. Say, if I don't, you know, if this is your attitude and this is your position, then you're going to be staying at the hotel every day in your room, or we're going to escort you to the airport and put you on a plane, and you will pay for it yourself. I mean, that's harsh, but it's too serious to ignore.
Without being specific, in DTW, have you ever had to send anyone home from a trip?
I think it's happened a couple times. Yeah, it rarely, very, very rarely.